What if I told you that you could be getting richer right now, without getting a bigger house, buying a new car, or suddenly making 6 figures? In fact, you might look exactly the same to everyone around you. Same job, same apartment, same car, same clothes, same weekend routine. But financially, you could be in a completely different position than you were 12 months ago. And here's the strange part. Real wealth often becomes invisible before it becomes obvious. You stop panicking when the car needs a $700 repair. You stop spending your entire paycheck before the next one arrives. Your savings keep growing even when you're not thinking about them. Your investments start making money while you're working, sleeping, or eating dinner. And eventually, something even more powerful happens. Money stops controlling your emotions. If any of that sounds familiar, you may already be getting richer, and you may not even realize it. Today, we're breaking down 5 signs you're secretly building real wealth, even if your lifestyle looks exactly the same. And stay until number 5, because the final sign has almost nothing to do with your bank account, and everything to do with how you think. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Money problems that used to feel like crisis now feel like expenses. Think about the last time something unexpectedly cost you money. Maybe your car needed repairs. Maybe your doctor sent you a bill you weren't expecting. Maybe your phone broke. Maybe your rent went up. Or maybe you simply had one of those months where every possible expense decided to show up at the same time. Now ask yourself, what would have happened 2 years ago? Would you have immediately reached for a credit card? Would you have borrowed money? Would you have skipped another bill? Would you have spent the next 3 weeks worrying about how you were going to recover? Now compare that to your situation today. Maybe the same $700 expense still annoys you. You don't enjoy paying it, but you pay it. You adjust your budget, and then you move on. That difference is enormous, because one of the earliest signs of wealth isn't luxury, it's resilience. When you're financially fragile, a relatively small problem can become a financial disaster. A $500 emergency isn't just a $500 expense. It's a credit card balance. It's interest. It's stress. It's missed savings. It's another month of trying to catch up. But when your financial foundation gets stronger, the same $500 is still inconvenient. But it doesn't knock you over. That's what an emergency fund, manageable debt, savings, and healthy cash flow actually buy you. They don't just buy you things. They buy you time and breathing room. And this is something people often misunderstand about getting rich. They imagine wealth as having more things. But in the beginning, wealth often looks like having fewer emergencies. You don't necessarily need a mansion. You need enough financial cushion that one broken transmission doesn't destroy your month. You don't need $1 million sitting in checking. You need enough stability that a surprise bill doesn't send you into panic mode. That's progress. And here's a simple way to test yourself. Think about the financial emergency that would have terrified you a few years ago. Would it still terrify you today? If the answer is no, you may already be wealthier than you think. Because your money isn't just growing. Your ability to absorb financial shocks is growing. And that's one of the foundations of real wealth. But there's another sign that's even more interesting. Because sometimes you can earn more money and still become poorer. And sometimes your life can look exactly the same, while your net worth quietly climbs. Sign number 2. Your lifestyle isn't growing as fast as your income. Let's say you get a raise. You go from making $60,000 a year to $70,000. What happens next? For a lot of people, the answer is almost automatic. New car, better apartment, more restaurants, more subscriptions, more expensive vacations, more shopping, and somehow the extra $10,000 disappears. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people can earn more money for years without becoming significantly wealthier. But imagine something different. You get the raise, your lifestyle improves a little, but you don't immediately upgrade everything. You keep the same car, you stay in the same apartment, you continue buying many of the same things. And instead of allowing your expenses to consume every extra dollar, you save and invest more of it. Now something powerful is happening behind the scenes. Your income is rising, your expenses are rising slowly, but your financial gap is getting wider. And that gap is where wealth is built. Think about it this way. If you make $5,000 a month and spend $4,900, you have only $100 working toward your future. But if you eventually make $6,000 and still live on roughly $4,500, now you have $1,500 that can potentially be directed towards savings, investments, debt reduction, or other financial goals. Your lifestyle may not look dramatically different, but your financial future could be changing dramatically. And here's the ironic part. Some people will look at you and think, why isn't he upgrading? Why is she still driving that old car? Why aren't they living bigger? They may think you're behind, but you could actually be ahead, because looking rich and becoming wealthy are two completely different games. Looking rich is visible. Building wealth is often invisible. A luxury car tells people what you spent. A growing investment account tells your future self what you built. A bigger house can increase your monthly obligations. A growing net worth can increase your options. So don't automatically judge your financial progress by what your life looks like from the outside. Instead, ask a better question. Is the gap between what I earn and what I spend getting bigger? If yes, that's powerful, because every dollar you don't immediately consume has the potential to become an asset, a safety cushion, or future freedom. And that brings us to the third sign. This is where the game starts changing. Because at first, you work for your money. But eventually, your money starts working for you. Sign number 3, your money is starting to make money without your daily effort. Early in your financial journey, almost everything depends on your paycheck. You work, you get paid, you save a little, you pay bills. Then you do it all again next month. Your effort creates almost all of your financial progress. But over time, something changes. You begin building assets. Maybe it's a retirement account. Maybe it's a diversified investment portfolio. Maybe it's a high-yield savings account for cash you need to keep accessible. Maybe it's an employer retirement contribution. The exact strategy can vary, but the principle is the same. Your money starts producing something without requiring another hour of your labor. And this is where compounding becomes incredibly important. Imagine you invest money consistently over many years. At first, the growth can feel almost meaningless. You look at the account and think, that's it? Maybe you see a few $100s of growth, maybe a few thousand. Doesn't feel life-changing. But here's the thing about compounding. It doesn't need to impress you in the beginning. Its power comes from time. Your contributions can generate returns. Those returns can remain invested. Then those gains can potentially generate additional gains. And eventually, the growth can become a meaningful part of your overall progress. That's why the early stages of wealth can feel so boring. You're not watching your money explode overnight. You're watching it quietly accumulate, month after month, year after year. And that's actually a good thing, because sustainable wealth usually isn't built by constantly finding the next hot investment. It is often built through boring behaviors, repeated for a very long time. Automated contributions, consistent saving, avoiding unnecessary high-interest debt, living below your means, investing according to a long-term plan, and allowing time to do its job. Here's another sign to watch. Maybe you check your account and realize, I didn't personally contribute all of this growth. That's an important moment, because it means your financial progress isn't coming exclusively from your paycheck anymore. Your assets are beginning to participate. And once that happens, your relationship with money starts changing. You're no longer thinking only, how can I earn more? You're also thinking, how can I make the money I've already earned work more efficiently? That is a completely different mindset. But there's still another sign. Because having money isn't the only measure of financial progress. Sometimes, the real test comes when you actually have to spend it. Sign number 4. You can spend money without financially starting over. This one is subtle. Let's say you save for 6 months. Then something happens. You take a vacation. You replace an old laptop. You pay for a major car repair. You have an expensive medical or household bill. And suddenly, your bank balance drops. You feel that familiar feeling. Great. I'm back where I started. But are you? A $2,000 emergency happens. The real question isn't, they spend the money balance go and then spend the next 8 months trying to recover. The better question is, stop investing. How quickly can I recover? They carry debt. That's a completely different measurement of financial health. They're financially shaken for a long time. Person A also has $8,000. The same $2,000 emergency happens. They pay it. Their savings drop. But their income, spending habits, and financial system allow them to rebuild over the next few months. The expense hurt, but it didn't destroy their progress. That's financial momentum. And the stronger your foundation becomes, the more often unexpected expenses become temporary setbacks instead of permanent disasters. This is one reason net worth is more useful than simply looking at your checking account. Your checking balance can move up and down constantly. Your net worth tells a bigger story. You could spend $2,000 and have a lower checking balance, while still being financially stronger than you were a year ago. Why? Because maybe your retirement account is larger, your investments are higher, your debt is lower, your emergency fund is stronger, your income has increased, your financial habits have improved. That's why one bad month doesn't necessarily mean you're going backward. Real financial progress isn't perfectly straight. There will be expenses, there will be setbacks, there will be market declines, there will be months when you save less, there may even be moments when your net worth falls. That's normal. The question is whether your overall financial system continues moving forward over time. And this leads to the final sign. It's the one that people rarely put on a financial spreadsheet. But once you experience it, you'll understand why it may be one of the most valuable forms of wealth you can build. Sign number 5. Money doesn't control your emotions like it used to. This might be the biggest sign of all. You still care about money. Of course you do. But money doesn't control you the same way. You don't feel the same pressure to buy something just because everyone else has it. You don't feel like you need to spend your entire paycheck because you finally got paid. You can look at an expensive product and say, that's nice, and then walk away. That's powerful. Because financial insecurity creates urgency. It tells you, buy it now, spend it now. Don't miss out. You deserve it. Everyone else has one. And sometimes that voice isn't really about the product. It's about emotion. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe you're comparing yourself to someone online. Maybe you had a difficult week and want to reward yourself. Maybe you're afraid you'll never be able to afford it later. So you buy. But as your financial foundation gets stronger, something changes. You become more comfortable waiting. You can delay gratification. You can compare options. You can ask, do I actually want this? Will I still want it next month? Does this purchase move me closer to my goals? And sometimes, you still buy it. That's perfectly fine. The difference is that you are making the decision instead of the emotion making the decision for you. That is financial freedom in its early stages. And it doesn't stop with spending. It can change how you react to investing. When markets fall, you don't immediately panic. When someone online claims they've found the next guaranteed investment, you don't feel desperate to jump in. When your friend buys a new car, you don't automatically feel behind. When your neighbor moves into a bigger house, you don't suddenly believe your life isn't good enough. You start realizing something important. Someone else's financial life is not your scoreboard. That's a massive psychological shift. Because if your definition of wealth depends on always having more than someone else, you can never actually win. There's always a newer car, a bigger house, a more expensive vacation, a higher salary, a larger investment account. Someone will always be ahead of you in some category. Real wealth gives you something different. The ability to make choices based on your priorities instead of constant comparison. And that is why wealth isn't just a number. It's also the amount of control you have over your own decisions. So let's bring all 5 signs together. You may be getting richer if: Number 1. Financial emergencies that once terrified you are becoming manageable. Number 2. Your lifestyle isn't growing as quickly as your income, allowing more money to build your future. Number 3. Your savings and investments are beginning to generate growth without requiring additional hours of work from you. Number 4. You recover faster after large expenses instead of financially starting from zero. And number 5. Money is becoming less emotionally powerful over you. Notice something about these signs. None of them require you to look rich. You don't need a Lamborghini. You don't need a designer watch. You don't need a mansion. You don't need to post screenshots of your bank account. In fact, some of the people building the strongest financial foundations may look completely ordinary. They drive an older car. They live in a normal neighborhood. They pack lunch. They automate investments. They avoid unnecessary debt. They keep an emergency fund. They don't feel the need to prove anything. From the outside, you might not notice anything. But underneath, their financial foundation is getting stronger every year. And that's the part that matters. Here's something you can do after this video. Don't compare your life to someone else's. Compare your current financial position to your own position 1 year ago. Ask yourself 5 questions. Is my savings higher? Is my high-interest debt lower? Is my investment balance growing? Is my net worth moving in the right direction over time? And do I feel less stressed by normal financial problems? You don't need every answer to be yes. Maybe your investments had a difficult year. Maybe you had an emergency. Maybe you took on debt for something important. Maybe your income changed. Life isn't perfectly predictable. But if the overall direction is improving, that's what matters. Because wealth isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built through thousands of small decisions that don't feel impressive when you make them. One automatic investment. One unnecessary purchase you skip. One debt payment. 1 month of living below your income. One emergency fund contribution. 1 year of letting your investments compound. Then another. And another. Until one day, you look backward and realize something has changed. You didn't suddenly become rich. You simply stopped moving backward. Then you started moving forward. And eventually, that forward momentum became difficult to ignore. So if your life feels almost exactly the same as it did a year ago, don't automatically assume you're not making progress. Maybe you're driving the same car. Maybe you're living in the same apartment. Maybe you still shop at the same grocery store. Maybe your friends wouldn't guess that anything has changed. But check what's happening underneath the surface. Is your financial cushion stronger? Is your debt becoming more manageable? Are your savings and investments growing? Are you recovering faster from unexpected expenses? Are you making calmer decisions with your money? If yes, you may already be getting richer. And perhaps the best part is this: you don't have to look rich while you're building wealth. You don't have to impress anybody. You don't have to prove anything. Because the goal isn't to look wealthy. The goal is to become financially strong enough that you have more choices, more security, and more control over your future. And that process can be incredibly quiet. Sometimes the first evidence isn't a new car. It's sleeping better because you know an emergency won't destroy you. It's watching your investment account grow while you're at work. It's saying no to something you don't need without feeling deprived. It's opening your bank account and realizing, I'm actually okay. That feeling may not look impressive on Instagram, but financially, it can be worth more than appearances. So before you decide you're not getting ahead, look again. Look at where you were 12 months ago. Look at your savings. Look at your debt. Look at your investments. Look at your habits. And most importantly, look at how much control money has over you today compared with yesterday. Because sometimes, the biggest sign that you're getting richer is that you no longer feel like you're constantly trying to survive. And that is real progress. If you found even one of these signs in your own life, don't ignore it. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep making the boring financial decisions that compound over time. Because stability comes first, then momentum, then options, and eventually, freedom. If you want more practical videos about building wealth, improving your money habits, investing smarter, and creating financial freedom without pretending to be rich, subscribe to the channel. And in the comments, tell me, which of these 5 signs are you already seeing in your own life? And if you're ready for the next step, watch the next video. Because we're going to look at the quiet money habits that can dramatically change your financial future.